Hello students, good evening. Morphology is another topic we are going to discuss here. Earlier we discussed phonology. Now morphology is to be discussed. So let us start. Morphology is the study of the structure of words. What's the study? Morphology is the study of the structure of words in linguistics. The structure of words in linguistics and the structure of organism in biology, because another term also morphology is used in another way also, that is structure of organism in biology. So that's a structure of organism in biology, that is also called morphology, and that is why we should be very much clear that in linguistics that's the structure of words and in biology that's the structure of organism. That's the difference, basic difference of morphology. Okay, now morphology is the structure of internal structure of words, right? So that's the internal structure of words. Here in further slides we will discuss in different ways what's the morphology. So you may feel that some of the again and again that's a same definition may be repeated, so don't take in any other way, because we are just discussing in all the ways what's the morphology. We are trying to understand what's the morphology. So morphology is the internal structure of words, including their parts such as prefixes, suffixes and base words. Actually these are the three things which are very important in morphology. When we understand morphology, so then we have to understand prefixes, suffixes and base words, right? The word morphology comes from the Greek word morph, means shape or form, and logy, of course, it's a study of something, right? So that's a study of shape or form. In this way we can understand this is study of shape and form of words. So here I'm writing on here, that's a study of shape or form of word, right? So that's the shape of word, right? Or form of word, whatever, shape of word or form of word, right? Now morphology is the study of how parts of words called morpheme, right? So that's a parts of words. One word may have two parts, three parts, four parts. So that is called morphemes. Each part is known as morpheme. Create different meanings by combining with each other, right? Or standing alone. For example, if you take the morpheme cookie and add the suffix s, and if you take the morpheme cookie and add the suffix s, you create a new word cookies, right? So it's an example. If you take morpheme cookie and add the suffix s, you create a new word cookies, right? Plural form with a slightly different meaning than the singular form. Simple. So that is cookie. So that's a cookie and s. These are the two morphemes. Okay. Now morphology is a crucial part of lexicology. Lexicology is lexic, that's a diction, lexicology. The study of words. Logy, lexic is the word. So the study of words, right? So that is lexicology, morphology and lexicology. So the study of words and their meanings, right? That's the study of words and their meanings, as well as etymology, the study of how words originate and evolve. So again we have to understand three terms: morphology, lexicology, etymology. So morphology is the crucial part of lexicology, and lexicology is what? The study of words and their meanings. So that is lexicology, the study of words and their meaning, and morphology is the part of lexicology. And etymology, on the other hand, study of how words originate and evolve. That's the study of etymology, right? But even if one is not a linguist, morphological studies is still a great tool for improving language. Though common, it's for common. That's a morphological analysis. If we are able to do morphological analysis, so that we can improve our language a lot, especially English. So that is because we know the parts of language, base and suffixes, prefixes and meaning. So this way we can improve our language a lot. So same here the text is telling us that, but even if one is not a linguist, morphological analysis is a great tool for improving language. So that is important. Okay, now what is morphology in writing? Morphology deals with parts of words called morphemes. So morphology actually deals with parts of words. Parts of words, and parts of words are what? That is morpheme. Morphological analysis looks at how morphemes can be combined or separated to make different words with different meaning. Suppose uh, any example, if I say detoxicated, right? So toxic, before toxic prefix is used d, right? So that's a, here I'm writing detoxicated, right? So toxicate, right? And then ed. So prefix and suffix, so these are the morphemes. And toxic, right? So that's a base word. So same here they are telling that what is morphology in writing. So in writing, morphology deals with the parts of words. These are the parts of words, right? This is parts of words, right, called morphemes. Morphological analysis looks at how morphemes can be combined, toxic, right, and separated to make different words with different meanings, right? Okay, now the most common examples are plural nouns. Usually, a noun's root word alone means the singular version. For example, for the morpheme cat, the root word cat means one cat. To talk about two or more cats, we take the morpheme cat and add s to the end. This is because spelling plural with s or es is common in English. Means here you can understand this way. When we have to make plural form any words, so adding s or es is very common. Same here they are telling about, that's a morpheme, means when we add s or es, it becomes that s or es is morpheme. So when we add or when we combine, add s or es with root words, it becomes plural and meaning changes. Cat and cats, this is the example. Understanding the relationship between cats and the suffix s is all part of morphology. So that is all about morphology. Okay, now like lexicology and etymology, morphology is an academic topic studied mainly by linguists and other language researchers. Still, understanding morphological analysis can also help anyone communicate more effectively. For one thing, morphology can improve reading comprehension by helping understand the meaning of words which have never seen before. Very important. If you have basic knowledge about morphology, so that it can improve reading comprehension, with the part and parcel of any competitive exam. Why? Because helping understand the meaning of words which have never seen before, but then through uh, morphemes means prefixes, suffixes, and base words, you will be able to guess what's the meaning of the word. Okay, so that is there. Morphology can also answer a lot of frustrating questions, like why some words are spelled weirdly, or why irregular words don't follow the normal rules. For example, if we say that example, that's a plural of data, right? So that's a data, and plural of, that's a datum, right? The datum, data, datum. In other example, suppose irregular form is axis and axis. Another right now, that's a phenomena, right? Criteria, phenomena, phenomena, and phenomena, and phenomenon. That's the last three words. Here space is not there. Phenomenon, right? These are the irregular forms. So the same, they are saying that morphology can also the answer of lot of frustrating question, like some words are spelled weirdly. This is rendezvous, this is the rendezvous. Sound is different, spelling is totally different, right? So this is weirdly spelled, right? And irregular forms don't follow the normal rules. Just now we have discussed, that's a criteria, criteria, and criterion. That's a irregular form, plural form of criteria, right? Moreover, studying morphology introduces the new morphemes, which expands your vocabulary and teaches you brand new words. This, along with other techniques from our writing guide, can only improve your writing, right? So that's the importance why morphology should be studied, why we should have knowledge about prefixes, suffixes, parts, base, morphemes, why we should have idea. Because in any text we can feel comfortable when we have idea about how words are formed, and this way we can easily we can interpret brand new words, right? Because we have knowledge about base words or morphemes. So that is, here they are talking about importance of morphology. Now, so what is morphemes? A morpheme, what are morphemes? A morpheme is the smallest part of word that still has a meaning. For example, the word tree is a morpheme, but if it is shortened to tr or ee, it loses all meaning. Tree cannot be divided, right? That's a tree. But if you see the meaning of tree, so that there is no meaning of it, it will lose the meaning, right? Now, there are two types of morphemes: free morpheme and bound morphemes, right? Free morphemes. Free morphemes are morphemes that can exist independently as individual words. These are typically root or base words, like the free morpheme comfort, right? Free morpheme means base words. You just have to remember this. All base words, all words which are existed in dictionary, that is called free morpheme. Means first original word, that is, sorry, not all words, but that's all base words are free morpheme. This way you can understand. Okay, now, so what is bound morphemes? Bound morphemes are morphemes that cannot exist independently. Bound morphemes cannot exist independently and must be used together with base words, right? And that is used together with a base word. These are typically affixes, means prefixes and suffixes. I'm repeating, a bound morpheme, as name suggests, that the bound morpheme cannot exist independently, must be used together with a base word. So that is used with base words, and these are typically affixes. Affixes means prefixes before or suffixes after the words, like the bound morphemes n and able in the words uncomfortable. Here, good example, that's a comfortable. So that an or able, there is no separate meaning of un, right, and able. So these are the an or able, these are the morphemes, right? What morpheme? Bound morphemes. Okay, now let's look at another morpheme example, deconstruction. Here in this word there are three morphemes. Construct is the base word, and de and shun, right? So only construct is the free morpheme base word, or its own, on its own it is still complete word. However, de and un are bound morphemes. Neither is a complete word that makes sense when used alone, right? Okay, now morphemes versus syllables. Very much confusion, sometime confusion between morphemes and syllables. So let us see what's the difference. Morphemes are often confused with syllables because both are used to break up words into smaller parts. Syllable means we have to break up the word into different parts. However, the two are not related. While morphemes are parts of words broken up by meaning. What? Morphemes are parts of words broken up by meaning. Syllables are parts of words broken up by sound. Important, very important. Morphemes are, of course, are parts of words broken up, means words are divided by meaning. And syllable on the other hand, that's a parts of words broken up by sounds. Here word is divided by meaning, and here word in the case of syllable, word is divided by sound. Important. Now syllables are typically individual sounds in a word. What? Typically individual sounds in a word, almost always involving a vowel, and usually with an additional consonant sound or two. For example, the word caterpillar has 4 syllables because here word is divided according to sound. Cat, pillar, 4 syllables, right? So same they are describing. Syllables are typically individual sounds in a word, almost always involving a vowel. One vowel A, here E, here I, here A, right? Usually with an additional consonant sounds. These are the AT additional consonant sound. For example, the word caterpillar has 4 syllables, right? However, morphemes are not based on sound. Important. Morphemes are not based on sound. So, a single morpheme can have more than one syllable. So, a single morpheme can have more than one syllable. For example, the entire word caterpillar is still just one morpheme, even though it is 4 syllables. Important. What is? Caterpillar has one morpheme but 4 syllables. So here same they are saying that morphemes are not based on sound. So a single morpheme can have more than one syllable. Okay, now very important information, uh, here, morphemes and syllables difference. Free morphemes. What is free morphemes? Are any morphemes that work on their own, including individual words. However, free morphemes don't always need to be alone. They can also be combined with bound morphemes to make new or more advanced words. In this sense, free morphemes are usually the root or base words in complex construction. Important. Free morphemes are usually the root or base words in complex construction. that that is just one of the many reasons why it is helpful to learn roots. So that is important is thing is that free morphemes are root or base words. You just have to remember this only, right? Bound morphemes, unlike free morphemes, bound morphemes cannot be used alone and must be used together. So bound morpheme as the it cannot be used alone and must be used together with free morpheme. So bound morpheme, uh, that's a free morpheme as name suggests, that's a free morpheme, but bound is always attached with free morpheme. To put it another way, bound morphemes are not complete words. Bound morphemes are not complete words. You can easily identify bound morphemes because they are affixes, means suffixes or prefixes. Affix means fix, to fix something. So that is suffix or prefix. Okay. Now, free morphemes versus bound morphemes. Example, because free morphemes and bound morphemes are often combined, it is important to understand their differences. So let us look at example, independent. Independent has three morphemes, right? So that's a three morphemes, but only one of them is free morpheme, depend. You can use this free morpheme by itself with no addition. That is, my dog and I depend on each other. So that is, depend is free morpheme. And bound morpheme, bound morpheme is, just a minute, bound morpheme here, independent, right? So in and then depend and int. So that is these two bound morphemes. Okay. Now, the other two morphemes in independent are in and ent. They are bound morphemes. The prefix in is a negative affix. That is also we should know. In is negative affix that negates the meaning of the base word. So if depend means to need something, the prefix in changes the meaning to does not need something. Depends and independence. Independent. Right? So that's a, the suffix ent is grammatical morpheme used to turn a word into adjective and noun. Interesting. What is important? Let us take this word independent. So depend, depend, then independent. This is, so when you say independent means it negates the meaning, and then depend means to need something, and independence means does not need something. Okay, but ent, why ent is used here? To make it adjective or a noun, right? So it becomes sometime ent is just used to make it adjectival form or noun form. Put all those morphemes together and we have a brand new word, independent, right? Why? Because we have added in and ent. So it's a new word and completely different meaning than its base word. Base word is depend, right? But independent, that's a new word and is uh, even a different part of a speech. So that's a depend is a verbal form, verb form, right? While independent is adjective form. So important is depend is verb form and independent is adjective form. My independent cat can survive happily without me. This way. So affixes, finally we have to understand, affixes refer to prefixes and suffixes which are small bound morphemes that change the meaning. Of course, prefixes are bound morphemes, right? Bound morphemes change the meaning of the base word they attach to, okay? However, because they are bound morphemes, they cannot exist on their own and must combine with base word. Simple, right? Okay. Prefixes are affixes that come at the beginning of the word. One of the most common prefixes is un, right? That's a negative prefix that negates the meaning of the base word. For example, if you add the prefix un to the base word do, so that is undo. It means to cancel or reverse an action. That's a I spent all a night undoing the intern's mistake, right? So that's a undoing, not doing anything, right? This way prefix are suffixes and prefix are affixes, and very common prefix is un, which has negative meaning, okay? On the other hand, suffixes are uh, affixes, of course, they that come at the end of the word. In addition to making plural nouns, suffixes are often used to for grammar, such as changing the type of word. For example, so that's a use of affixes. Suffixes is changing the type of word, important. For example, you can use the suffix ness to turn an adjective into noun form. So that's a empty and emptiness. So empty is, that's a uh, I'm empty head, so that's a adjective into noun form, right? So that's a here empty, right? Empty, it's a adjective, and emptiness is noun form. So this way, okay? Now my plate is empty, but there is no emptiness in my stomach. So my plate is empty, right? So that's a, but there is no emptiness. So that's a adjective, okay? And then that's a noun form in my. Suffixes also have a vital role in verb conjugation or verb combination, helping the verb to match the number, gender, and person of the subject. So that is kya, what's the suffixes which are have a vital role in verb conjugation, helping the verb to match number, gender, and person of the subject, also creating different verb tenses. Notice how suffixes s and ed are used with the base words. Play an important play in the examples below. We play on the swings, okay? And then we plays sorry she plays on the swings. Yesterday we played on the swings, right? So that's a simple play, then plays because of this verb, and then here that's a past tense, right? Okay. So finally, what is morphology? Let us simplify. Morphology is the study of the way words are built up from small meaning bearing units. So the way words are built up from smaller meaning bearing units. Morphemes, these are morphemes. Smallest smaller meaning, these are morphemes. So morpheme is the study of the way words are built up, right, from smaller units or from morphemes. A morpheme is the smallest meaningful linguistic unit. So in other way we can understand, morpheme is the smallest meaningful linguistic meaning, because meaningful that's a un or less, that's a meaningful linguistic unit, okay? So that is called linguistic unit. For example, in Hindi we can understand bachcho. तो बच्चों कंसिस्ट ऑफ टू मॉर्फेम्स एक्चुअली. बच्चों मतलब प्लूरल हो गया ना, तो बच्चा एक मॉर्फेम हैज़ द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द रूट word noun bacha, and O that is has the plural or oblique case, right? तो हिंदी में इस तरह से हम समझ सकते हैं. Played has two morphemes, play and ed, right? Having information, verb play and past tense. So given word, past tense form of verb play. Words can be analyzed morphologically if we know all variants of a given root word. We can use add delete table for this analysis. Okay, so words can be analyzed morphologically, the same they are repeating, right? So thank you so much. I think that's a very important information. Here we discuss morphology is, you should understand that morphology is the study of internal study of the words, and where we in 2-3 lines, if we understand what is morphology. So just understand that morphology is the internal structure of the words, and generally words are made up with the help of affixes. Affixes means prefix or suffix, and prefix means pre means before the words. So the linguistic unit which is added before the verb is called, before the base word is called prefix, and the linguistic unit which is added after the word is called suffix. And then when we will be able to understand the parts of words, that is called, that whole study is called morphology. And morphemes, what are morpheme? Morphemes are any linguistic unit, any word, right? So base word, there are two types of morphemes. First is free morpheme, means all base or root words are called free morpheme. And bound morphemes, as name suggests, it is bound or attached with root word or base word. It can be suffix, it can be prefix, that is called bound morpheme. For example, bound morpheme un, uh, ded, right? Before the, these are the prefixes, and suffixes ness, less, itty, these are bound morpheme, example of bound morpheme. So this is somewhat morphology, right? So thank you so much. One more video I'm going to make within 2-3 days, which will be based on morphology. How morphology is studied will be the next video. Thank you so much. God bless you.